Dave Cha-ching, Mr. Gimme 3, man. I'm here, man.
Rashad, the voice, Zone 6, the voice of Brooklyn, the voice of the city, my opinion right now.
It's only pressure. It's not crazy.
Like basketball wins when we get moments like that. Oh, this episode, woo. This one is special today. Good Brothers Podcast. Got my man Rashad back. He missed last week. He had he was on like a mini vacation, but we back. We got some guests today, man. This one is different. We like different. We love different. We was some of the leaders of the Eagle Nest, man. Y'all introduce yourselves. Know what I mean? Left to right.
Hamilton. I'm the assistant principal and athletic director at Eagle.
I'm Rashad Meade. I'm the principal of Eagle Academy.
And y'all know who Rashad is, right?
We back.
Yeah,
Here
Tom,
with the
you want to take it
champions,
off?
man. We here with the champions, the big dogs of the championship team, PSAL Eagle Academy. Just want to say how y'all feeling today. How y'all feel about it?
It's a great time to be an Eagle. And I think it's a testament to the work that all of our young men put in, our coaches, our whole community. You know, we don't do anything as individuals. We do things as a family. So when we celebrate like this, we celebrate as a family. That's why we had, almost 700 people in the Barclays. That's not just, the basketball team. That's our whole community. And it's not just Eagle Brooklyn. It's all the Eagles that are celebrating this one.
Definitely.
You, him?
About you, man?
Feeling great. This one is for the community. Brownsville has never had a high school AA champion, or a high school doesn't even exist in Brownsville. So this one is special. Definitely. This one is for the Eagle alums. This one is for the community. This one is major. It's big.
How long Eagle been going on?
This is our
In
15th
Brooklyn here,
year,
15?
in existence.
How long y'all been together?
So Eagle, is a
Relationships get built. So I always got to ask, how y'all form y'all little two-man tandem.
So I'm the founding principal of Eagle. So this is my 15th year in the building.
Okay.
And I started under current Chancellor David Banks when he was the principal of Eagle Bronx. And I kind of had the opportunity to learn, develop a 6 through 12 version of Eagle. And in my first year, AP Hamilton, worked at Beacon, right, the after school program, and I would see him, and I knew, he had a lot of ability. I saw his connection with kids, and I instantly knew that he would be a perfect fit for the type of environment, the type of staff we were looking to build. And so officially he's been on with us for 14 years, and we've been a team for 14 years, but I would go back even further and say we've been together for 15 years. And it's not just, a 8 to 3 kind of thing. Like, we are family, we're brothers. And so there's not a day that goes by where we're not in contact with one another. Through text, touching in, making sure our families are good. So the same atmosphere of brotherhood that we build amongst our young men is what we share as individuals as well.
So you probably in the street ball world, you recruited him.
Absolutely. He was the number 1 draft pick. Number one, absolutely.
Definitely, and for you, just being on board for the 14 years, how was that? I know 8 to 3, like you said, 8 to 3, 8 to 5, you hear sometimes weekends. I mean, how's that experience working with your partner, working with just the Eagle brand itself?
Just seeing the brand build over the years, it's it's unexplainable because we didn't think we would be here now. We didn't start out to play basketball or to be in basketball. We started as a school. We wanted to build a solid academic institution first. And then we saw that we were losing kids because of sports. We had to get in the game. We had to get in the game because we were losing quality kids because they wanted to compete at a high level. But like you said earlier, when you're working with family and when you're doing things that you love and you developing the next generation of your community, it's not work. It's not work. It's not work if you really, truly love your community.
What's some of the changes y'all seen from the beginning to now? Like, what's some of the big changes y'all seen or made, you could say?
I think, speaking to what Hamilton just mentioned, the fact that we started, our foundation is academics.
Yeah.
And we also realized that in order to become something more than what people have seen before, we had to add additional layers to that. So we have a 90% graduation rate. We have, 8 classes of young men that transition, from our institution to various colleges, the workforce, and we were graduating guys at 90+%. But we realized very quickly that in order for our young men to really see the value and those life lessons of discipline, of brotherhood, of hard work, we had to give them a tangible example of that. And sports does that better than anything for young men, right? Black, white, whatever. Sports really teaches brotherhood. And we understand, to your point before, in order for our young men to be successful past Eagle, they got to be connected to one another. So I think that's something that we were much more intentional about, as we grew. Like, how are we going to put structures in place so that throughout these 7 years with our here at Eagle, our young men are connected, but how do you create bonds past that? And sports allows us to do that, not just for the kids that are on the team, but for the kids that come to the games, the kids that come back, because we want an army of Eagles out there so that anywhere they go, they can find a brother. And I think we're much more intentional about that, as we grew as a school.
Okay.
I want to touch on one of our good partners, Ike. He kind of oversee everything. Ike was a big Eagle alum. He talk about it so much. I'm like, oh, all right, well, why you putting him over there? You need to just put him with Eagle. Get him down. Put him over here. But I mean, that's just a testimony of what the foundation is for Eagle. And Ike been out of Eagle over 10, 12 years, and he still have the same energy as today. It's all about Eagle's brand. It ain't even about saying they the best corporation out, but it's just why just not be a part of something like that? Growing up, we didn't have schools like a brotherhood schools. You had kids, different races and stuff like that, plug in and out. But we walked in the building today and we just see how everybody connected with each other when we walked in.
Because one of the things people don't really understand about this education world is it's bigger than just education. It's a real community, and it's showing love to the community and the next generation. So it's just bigger than assessments and coming to school. It's bigger than school. Because some of the issues we deal with on a daily basis, it's not just school, it's family. It's really caring for these young men.
To what you mentioned before, I would say that Ike was the first Eagle because I was a brand new 6th grade teacher, didn't know what I was doing, and Ike was a 6th grader in my class, and I taught at a Catholic school, so I had them all day, and I saw the needs that he had, and it went beyond just the classroom, so that required me to drive him back and forth from games. I kept in contact with him even past my time at the school. And when he was looking for a new high school, and I was in my first year at Eagle Bronx, I spoke to his mother, I spoke to Ike, I say, come with us, come with me, I'm here. I'm always gonna look out for you, I'm always gonna take care of you. And all I'm doing is repeating the behavior and approach that my father had. My father, during the crack era in Queensbridge, he was the hood coach. Right, he's the one that whatever season was around, that's what my father was coaching. He was coaching basketball, he was coaching flag football, and it was at a point in time where the only time the kids got a chance to leave the hood was with my father. The Ron Artests of the world, all those guys. And so when I became a teacher, I knew no other way, right? It's not just what you're doing with those kids during the time that they're with you, Like, how do they see that support not only in that moment but for life? And that's the kind of the mindset that we have here at Eagle. And it's not just words. You know, when you see our guys, it's a whole family. It's guys that graduated, you know, 4 or 5 years ago who come back because this is always home. And that was modeled by my father. You know, like I said, Ike is someone that I've always been in contact with, you know, from the time I left that school to now, which is almost 20 years later.
20, yeah.
Question for you here. You've been here for some years. Did you ever sit back and just think like, damn, I'm changing the culture in my neighborhood? Like, did you ever get that time of, like, we're in Brownsville. Yeah. As we know, this is probably one of the toughest neighborhoods or toughest areas in Brooklyn or probably around the world. So to get that, to have kids in here, to follow order, to know discipline, to be a part of a Eagle culture and just a black culture, period, in the school, did you ever think, like, or just sit back sometimes and be like, damn, I'm really changing or helping people's lives as far as the staff you got is all culture-wise, is people that can relate to the kids?
That's what it's about, because I was just talking to Gino, my man, since 11 years old.
Right.
It's 26 years.
Yeah.
We went to this school together when it was 271, and we were just talking about how the transition of the community in the school, and given the opportunity to change my community, I had to be a part of Eagle. I had to be a part of that. And I think about it all the time because I get opportunities to leave and to have my own school. But it's still work to be done, and to win with family, and to win with black boys, and to win in your community, it's nothing more special. And also, it's a lot of basketball players that came through this gym, right? And a lot of ball players in this community and neighboring communities, but they have to go outside the community to play at a high level. Yeah. And now it's a school in your community that's competing at a high level. You don't have to leave your community. So Gino had to leave to go to Lincoln. That's a travel hardship daily to compete at a high level. So now you got a kid in Brownsville, or you got a kid in Bed-Stuy, or you got a kid in Crown Heights. It's a school right here that's competing at a high level.
Ham, you think when you say all that, right? As you building it year by year, you think more about you want the kids to stay home more, or you find with a kid like from Brownsville say, I want to travel over there, before you started building the brand.
So I think building a program, the first thing we thought about was building a program that's sustainable and building a solid foundation. Because in the beginning, we took our hits, we took our lumps, but we were building a program the right way with the right people around that's going to teach the game and teach these boys how to be men. And it's not just basketball; it's building them for the next level of life, character.
That's dope. Pause. Y'all got a lot going on right now. What's gonna be next? What's next now?
I think for us, we want to be a national program, because I think the symbol of, black and brown boys, black male leadership, the fact that on a staff of 110, we have 70 black males. So many people have this mindset and perception of who we are. The fact that, a black man doesn't take care of his family, take care of his community. We know those are all false narratives.
Definitely.
So if we can hit the road and show people that you can do it from Brownsville, from a struggling community, with black leadership, with black males out in front, taking care of kids and doing it the right way. Right? In our school, our kids come first.
Definitely.
Like, we are not a successful program if our boys are not prepared for the next phase of life. Be it academically, socially, athletically. Like, we are failing if our boys are not prepared. So I think by us becoming a national program, that'll allow other people to see it's possible. So when that next, black male leader steps up and wants to lead a school, you can reference the work that we've done to show that it's been done already. We just need the support, right? I think that's kind of the power and the symbol that we represent, not only, in New York City, but nationally. We have a lot of people from around the country that come and want to learn how we educate our young men. But I don't want our young men to have to go to some of the, parochial schools, prep schools, Catholic schools. Not to say that anything's wrong with those programs, but I think there's an option that can be presented to our community where you can be rooted in your community, but still be prepared for that next phase of life. And I think that's what we represent. And as a national basketball and academic program, we can really change the dynamics in a lot of our communities.
Y'all started off A, right?
We started off in the development, and then we went to B, then A, and then AA.
Question, I never heard of a development.
Yeah, I was about to just say, what's a development?
Can you elaborate,
Yeah, please elaborate on every league, please.
Yeah, cause I never heard of know about B, we know about A, definitely know about AA.
So the developmental league is a league where schools that doesn't have an established athletic program, that's where you start off.
Okay.
You compete with a lot of schools from like the Lower East Side, a lot of academic schools per se. And then the B division, you guys know, B division is the schools, the smaller schools as well.
Yeah.
And then A, we Law and Tech was a rivalry of ours for some time in the A division, and then we somewhat did well in the A. And then we never won a chip in the A, but we felt like we could compete in the AA at one point because we had a group of young men that was very talented, and we wanted to give those guys a shot of playing in the AA before they left.
So how long y'all been in the AA now?
So
This is 5 years.
This is 5 years since we've been in the AA. So it's the shortest span that a team has ever been in the AA and winning a championship.
I was just about to bring that up. Like, how do y'all feel about that? Like, knowing y'all just been AA for 5 years. Maybe if y'all would've went AA earlier, y'all feeling like we probably could've got 2?
I think it goes back to who we are as a school, right? So we have this mantra in our building with our young men, people think we don't exist. So when we first came into AA, we might have won one game or didn't have a win at all, right? And so instead of getting down, that allowed us to go back to the drawing board. And what we saw very quickly was that we hadn't had to change our approach to the game. We needed a way systematically to have an advantage because we didn't have a talent advantage. And everybody was going to the bigger schools and things like that. So when we brought on, Coach Meade, who's my brother, who played at Christ the King and Holy Cross, and his backcourt mate, Coach Hamilton, they brought a different kind of mindset that's more college rooted. So our boys, in terms of like their basketball lingo, switching, running pick and rolls, being able to look at film and break down film, it's a college preparatory atmosphere that we created. And I think that allowed us to accelerate our development, where we didn't have to wait for, a transcendent talent, some McDonald All-American kid. We was able to do it with kids who may not have been at the forefront of their previous program.
Definitely.
So we approached it the way we approach school, right? We approached it in a real database way, and we were very methodical on how we built our program and our coaching staff. So our guys, when they go to the bench, they're interacting with 5 point guards. Coach LeBrew, Coach Booth, Coach Hamilton, Coach Lawrence. These are all proven professional, New York City renowned point guards who are teaching our boys the game in a way that is going to prepare them for the next level with a level of honesty. And any one of those guys can be Googled, right? Because that's what kids do nowadays, right? They want to verify people, right? Any one of those guys can be Googled, and they are certified New York City proven basketball players. And so what they say, our boys believe.
And to piggyback off of that, like, I was at Barclays. I can't come to too many Brooklyn games. We from uptown, but just looking at that staff, everybody to T, like, it's different levels, like high, power 5, power 5. So when you look across the coaching staff, is all there. How did you put that together? Or did you put that together, or you allowed your coach to kind of chime in and like, yo, we want to add this piece, or we want to add this piece?
So we built our coaching staff the same way we build a teaching staff. So a lot of our teachers came to us through referrals, somebody that they grew up with, somebody that's from the neighborhood, someone that is looking to get an education, didn't really find a way, so we did the same thing.
Okay.
And once we kind of had our system, not everybody understands that system. We don't just have our kids just going up and down blindly, right? Here you have to execute plays, you have to be disciplined. But in order to teach that, you got to understand it. So we brought on a staff of teachers of basketball because they have field experience. So we built it the same way. So to your question, it was 100% intentional. And we're looking at guys, if we want to build out our coaching staff, have you played before? Can you understand our system? Can you believe in and teach brotherhood? If you can't check all those boxes, there's other schools for you, it won't be equal.
And I think one thing you missed, Meade, was community. You got to understand community. You got to understand the young men that are in front of you and have a connection with them. And I would argue that we got one of the best educated staff in the country. And also, I will also argue that we got the best basketball staff, one of the best basketball staff in the city and possibly the country as well.
The best.
I mean, yeah.
Arguably.
Yeah, I definitely got an argument there. Because just looking like from what the coaches did, so how, like, you know, like if I'm coming in apply, right? You gonna base on more resume, or let me go check in, or, you know, the coach like, nah, he's a good guy, boom, 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 he fit what we need. Or you gonna go do your own due diligence, go do a background check, let me go check on Salon, let me see if Cha-Ching, let me see if these guys really fit Eagle Foundation.
So the basketball community is small, right? Everyone knows everybody. So if a person even comes to us, you know, as a potential candidate and a potential option, we already know about them, right? So it's just kind of putting our eyes on the individual and seeing, okay, this person really believes, or this person is looking to potentially use us as a come up, right? It's the same psychology that we got to use in every aspect of life, right? You got to be able to assess someone very quickly and make decisions that may seem instinctive, but it's based on data and you kind of reading the person. Because if a person don't fit here, they're not going to be here. And that's not just for coaches, that's more so for educators and teachers. Like, we're not the type of staff, I'm not a person, I've never had to write somebody up. Like, I'm not putting pen to paper, I'm not doing all of that. If you don't belong here, the community is going to remove you. I don't have to do it. And it's the same thing with basketball.
And I mean, it's a connection. Gino been my man for 26 years. Meade, Coach Meade, that's his brother. Coach Hamilton, that's his backcourt mate at Holy Cross in college. Malik Booth, that's Gino's backcourt mate at St. John's.
Sorry.
So you see the connection. There has to be some type of connection and a resume and an understanding of community. Coach LeBrew, he's from Brownsville.
Facts.
And these individuals are with our young men every day. So it's not, I'm just going to see you at practice later on at the game. They're with our young men from first period to eighth period, then at practice.
After.
So that's something that we're also very mindful of. If you're going to be part of our staff, you got to be part of our school.
Hands-on.
Because it can't be two different things, right? It got to be connected, because that's what our young men respond to, right? Because Eagle culture is different, right? We're a different, very unique environment, and you got to really believe in all aspects of it, especially the academic part, especially the community part.
Let me read, because I'm loudspeaker. What's some of y'all short-term goals outside of just bouncing the basketball that our audience, y'all audience, the whole world
need to know?
Need to know, like the next 3 years. I know one question before y'all jump into that. What year do y'all start accepting applications for the new year?
So high school enrollment has started. So guys have already received the list of schools that they're going into.
Okay.
And for middle school as well. So we get application for middle school because we're 6 through 12.
Yeah.
So our entry points are at the 6th grade, and the other entry point is in the 9th grade.
Okay.
But I mean, application is year round. We have a waiting list.
Oh yeah, definitely a waiting list.
Yeah.
Definitely a wait. What's the capacity of before y'all get into that 3 year window? I always ask the people we get on, because y'all the higher ups, y'all gotta have a 3 year window, like going into next year. So that will start the 3 year window.
You know, when it comes to our 3-year plan, we've done everything you see here as far as our sports, you know, building of our staff, the 90% plus graduation rate over the last 7-8 years has all been done with a regular Department of Education budget. You know, I think sometimes the assumption is as an Eagle school, we have millions and millions of extra dollars that other people don't have access to. We got the same budget. So for us, you know, one of the things in terms of sustainability is finding a way to secure sponsorship. And if we secure sponsorship, that'll allow us to expand our school, expand our program. What I really want to do more than anything is start to get, you know, more kids into our middle school. I think because of birth rates and because, you know, a lot of people left New York City during COVID, we're starting to be high school heavy. You know, I want to be middle school heavy because I don't have to explain what it is to be a brother.
You already know the culture by then.
You already know, right? So the kids that transition with us from middle school into high school, there's no thought about them leaving. You know, so, you know, Hamilton mentioned before how, you know, we had Rashad Dunn and Shamari Pons in the school. They didn't want to leave Eagle. They looked for another opportunity for basketball. But they loved the school, right? To this day, you know, when we won the championship, they reached out to Hamilton. Congratulations, my school won. And, you know, for us, we want more of that, right? Additionally, I want to make sure that we have more support for our alums. You know, we don't ever leave our boys. You know, once you're here, you're always with us. And we've proven that. I want to make sure that we have more options for our guys. So right now, we have a number of kids who are playing Division I basketball. They know they can come back, use our weight room, use the facilities. Our facilities are your facilities. So we want to make sure that we build that out as well, so that when we talk to a 11-year-old, we talk to a 12-year-old, we can say this is a lifetime commitment. And I don't think any other school really has that as a mindset. You know, we do because that's who we have to be, right? You don't come into a child's life at 11, at 14, they do 4 years with you, they do 7 years with you, and then just have a good life.
Yeah.
Like, that's not how we get down. That's not how we've ever gotten down. You know, Ike is proof of that.
Definitely.
Right? I didn't come into that young man's life at 11 and say, all right, I'm no longer at the school, have a good life. Like, no, that's somebody that I care and love to this day. And we do the same thing for all of our boys. So I think that's the next step. You know, still having that love, still having that connection, but having the resources to provide for them, you know, when they want to make certain decisions, be it job, be it another phase of life academically, advice on being a father, those kind of things.
Same question for you, Ham?
For me, I primarily work with the middle school. I run the middle school. And for me, the after-school program is big. Keeping our boys here from 8:25 to 4:20, that's essential for their success and elevating them to the next level. So running a robust after-school program is key. So being able to fund that consistently, and being able to run our gifted and talented program that we have. So in 8th grade, all of our scholars take 4 Regents exams. You need 5 Regents exams to graduate high school. But in 8th grade at Eagle Brooklyn, you take 4 Regents exams. So by the time you get to high school, you only have 1 Regents to worry
you're
about.
already out the way.
So being able to maintain that rigor academically, that's key, and just continue on the path and the trajectory of becoming a nationally ranked program.
Before we wrap this up, I just want to give y'all flowers for having
Thank you.
15 years of school, being a two black owned business. You might as well say this is like a business at the same token.
Definitely.
It's a brand.
A brand, pardon me. To come from a brand, to come to be in the neighborhood that we in. And if you from Brooklyn, you know how nasty it could get over here. To have people want to come here to win a chip, to be in the AA for 5 years, to have a great academic program. I just want to give y'all my flowers to y'all, and I just salute both, and I just wish y'all the best with everything else y'all got going on.
Definitely. I mean, my partner kind of summed it up, man. Like, just having y'all on, like, just look at y'all attire. Like, I'm like this before we jumped on. I'm like, son, we out of dress code, but just to say that, like, you know, when y'all start y'all mornings start in 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning, and it's going to 7, 8 o'clock. Like, married man, gotta still go home and take care of the other life he gotta, I mean.
Game day ends at about 10 o'clock.
At night?
Yeah. Because we all in.
And then what
We
time
all
you
in.
got to be back here?
We don't miss games.
And then what time you got to be back here the next morning? Because
Get
I
back
know
here about 7:30.
if game night end at 10, that means y'all not going to sleep till about 1.
With a little message, definitely
whatever
send us
message
over
y'all
the
got for
message.
Eagle, whatever y'all want to let the world know about the program, you can send it over just like that.
Send your sons. Right? Send your sons here. Right, they're gonna be in good hands. You know, we've been through it. You know, Hamilton is rooted in his neighborhood. He's rooted on this block. Right, he grew up
Facts.
here, and you know we have a context, but we also believe in our young men. We believe in our community. And I know there's a lot of other options out there, but I'm gonna be biased. I don't think there's any better option for a young man than to be in our care for 7 years, because we're gonna love them and we're gonna make sure they're good for the rest of their life. That's it.
For me, I'm biased. We're the best school in New York City. We're the best school
Talk
in New
your
York
talk. We
Talk
want y'all to
your
talk
talk.
y'all
We
talk.
want-
Don't
we
hold
gotta
nothing
hear
back.
it.
Please don't hold nothing back.
There's no school like us that check the box academically, 90+ graduation rate, and we compete at a high level in every sport. Name a school that does that. Name a school that does that.
You see what's going on, man.
I got it here,
You know what I
man.
mean? You got it. You hearing it first. And this is different. We came to the Eagle Nest. They've been looking for us to come to the Eagle Nest.
That's a fact.
So we found our way to the Eagle Nest, man. We got the big dogs with us today, man. Like we just like Slime said, man, we just giving y'all flowers. Keep doing what y'all doing. This ain't gonna be our first time back. Because we definitely gonna be back. We need to see different setups, different walks of life in
I
here.
had a lacrosse team.
Know what I mean? I seen a lacrosse team run out of here. You just said they recently won a championship. Real quick for the sports, because you say you looking to add. What sports you looking to add? Because I see lacrosse just walked out of here. They recently won a championship.
Just got a championship with your boys.
Know what I mean? What you looking to add? What sports is missing?
So currently we have lacrosse, basketball, football, and track. We're looking to add baseball, soccer, table tennis. Like, we're looking to add everything. We're trying to add everything. So whatever our young men are into, we were looking to add that program.
Nah, don't get no realer than Eagle, man. They said table tennis. That's tough.
No, but PSAO got that.
That's a fact.
They got that. They got that. They got a lot of sports that I was surprised. I see kids was running out here with the lacrosse stuff. I said lacrosse in the hood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what shocked
I
me
said,
just now.
but you, like you say, all walks of life, giving people different opportunities. Might have the first graduate get his first D1 scholarship to lacrosse team. If you don't put it on the table for them kids to have it, they won't have it.
That's the goal. We got everything else too. We got culinary arts,
Barbershop,
the whole
Yeah, I
nine.
know that.
Like, this is a one-stop shop. You know, kid comes here and get a meal, get an athletic experience. You know, watch some anime with our anime club, dress up, go to Comic-Con. Like, this is the one-stop shop. We're everything in one house. That's it.
We got a robust art program as well, music program. So we cater to all the young men, in the inner city.
Definitely. Rashad, Cha-ching, we signing off.
Good brothers, man. Make sure y'all
good brothers.
be on the lookout for this one. Because I think this might be one of the best ones,
Might be the special
educated
one.
wise for me, for
Myself
us
too.
as a building our brand, able to talk to some dogs that been around a while. So we definitely learning. So we want to
Definitely.
appreciate y'all.
Appreciate you, man.
Definitely.
Man, appreciate you.
Definitely. Signing out.
Signing out.
Ain't no summertime, homies. Money getting different, this is summertime rolling. I'm back for revenges. Yes, I'm about my business. The voice of trenches when I talk, you know they listen. This shit was given, we just starting, it never ending. Place us in $1, give a fuck about a visit. Free Clizzy Wall. Just having fun with this shit, you know?